The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the set of my show, The Right Side. Doug Billings here. I've got a few bones to pick and a few pet peeves to point out to you today. And this applies to you no matter where you live. Now, I'm going to use a specific state and some of its actors as examples, but this can happen wherever you live. So be aware. We have the great fortune in Kansas to have a supermajority in the House and the Senate. A majority that has waited too long to begin to redistrict. We should have been leading this fight 2 or 3 years ago. But now, because it's election season, all sorts of people jumping on that bandwagon. We are copycatting Missouri and Texas and other states. We should have leaders in there that are forward-thinking enough to look at someone like Sharice Davids, a commie socialist. I'm talking about Kansas. Sharice Davids in Johnson County, Kansas. Trump won in a landslide in Kansas by 16 points, yet Sharice Davids in Johnson County, who's a commie socialist, formerly known as Democrat, votes with the radical liberal extreme every single time in Washington, D.C. And we have members now in the leadership of the Republican Party who say, well, now's a good time to redistrict. Everybody else is doing it. I guess we ought to do it too. So it's election season. Some of these people want to be governor, and so they begin to speak up and they begin to speak out. We have a couple of other guys. One of them wants to be Secretary of State. One of them is Secretary of State, wants to be governor. They've never admitted to any great degree, nor fought for the fact that we have election integrity issues in this state. But now that it's election season, that's all they talk about, and it's as if they are trying to take some sort of high ground that they simply don't have. One of them even had ballots destroyed that were supposed to be under investigation. I can't say his name because it would be indiscreet. Scott Schwab. And the other guy running for Secretary of State has not, in fact, spoke out against getting rid of the electronic machines. We don't have those kind of problems in Kansas. Pat Proctor. By the way, you should never wear skinny jeans if you're over 40 years old. That's just a pro tip, but I digress. We have got to get people in office that are from outside government. We don't need more of the establishment. We need what the founders were. Men who did not have political experience, but they had business acumen, and they were bold, and they were brave, and they called out what they saw. And what we see in Kansas and in other states is the establishment class clinging to power and speaking up when it's election season. And state GOP organizations. I wonder if there's anyone out there who's experienced the state GOP that would dare to extort money from political candidates. Say running for governor, for example. I wonder if there's anybody out there in this country who has ever heard of a GOP organization in their state that would dare to suggest every candidate for governor must pay us $10,000 to be able to have the right to debate, or that you've got to have $500,000 in the bank from various fundraising endeavors. I wonder if you've ever heard of such a thing. And I wonder if you did hear of it, wouldn't that strike you as outrageous? Wouldn't that strike you as a group of people who only want to keep the establishment in place? Wouldn't it strike you as an organization that's immoral, self-centered, and self-serving? I just wonder. If you hear of such an organization in a state that heads up your state GOP, let me know. I'd be curious. Or what if you hear about a state GOP organization that demands that you sign a letter of support, no matter who gets the nomination in the run for governor, for example? Even if it's a woman who's not a Republican, she's posing as one, but who advocates for the death of babies who happen to still be in their mother's womb. Would you sign a letter saying, yeah, sure, I'll support that person if they win the nomination? Well, I would not. And how dare any of you who hear of this, how dare a state GOP organization would demand as much? We have lost our way, ladies and gentlemen. We need people to be bold, patriotic, God-fearing candidates, political outsiders who are brave enough and bold enough to stand up to whatever they want to throw at you. Speak up, speak out, speak loudly. We're in this together, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it. For the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.